Welcome back, watch fans. We have an amazing watch market update for you. We got the latest news on what's happening in the world of Rolex, Patek Philippe, and Audemars Piguet right here in this video. So make sure you click the like and subscribe button even before you find out what's in the video. And of course, click the link below to get a free weekly newsletter. Okay, so here's what is happening in the world of watches. Listen, don't believe these tomato cans, these crayon eaters, and window lickers who keep telling you that the watch market is dead and, it's the world has collapsed and, all this nonsense. And our watches still an investment potential. You see these guys like the Archie luxuries of the world. Basically, these are people who know nothing. Okay, the Archie luxury universe is mostly people who really don't really understand how the world works. They're really kind of low level watch. I don't know if they use the word collectors, but they're like basic Rolex fanboys and Omega, or they have like some low level, third rate Pateks that they have, which they think makes them a Patek person, but they're not, right? So you don't want to take advice from tomato cans, and I've shown you how many times these guys have been wrong before. This channel that you're watching right now, the Watch Reporter channel, this is the only place where you can get the real deal information about watches which actually increase in value. Unbelievable but true. That's right, watches that increase in value. And speaking of increase in value, here is what's going on. So listen, as I've told you before, the Rolex we'll kind of go through piece by piece. So the Rolex Day-Date market, as I've been telling you, the precious metals, gold, Rolex, especially Day-Date, it's kind of the premium is the secondary market. The premium is going to be a thing of the past. It's already becoming a thing of the past, like it used to be, right? So again, those watches traditionally sold below retail, and they're going to go back. They're going back to that trend, right? They are going back to that trend. By the way, on the wrist is the Rolex Yacht Master 42 tone chocolate doll. By the way, this is a watch that traditionally would sell under retail. And actually, when I bought it, I got it. Under retail. New watch basically. Gray market, right? How much did I pay? I think 11.5, whatever the number was, right? But this is 2020, and it was below retail, right? So anyway, two-tone gold should be selling below retail. Okay, yes, this watch do not pay retail. You should get at least 10% discount minimum. Because again, but the Day-Date for sure. The Day-Date for sure, at least 20%, 30% is the real number, right? Look at this. This is unbelievable. You got hummingbirds here. Check this out, guys. You see this? That is amazing. Anyhow, so as I told you, if you buy a Rolex Day-Date, you are in grave danger. You are in grave danger of losing money, because right now a lot of those, even if you buy it at list, okay, you buy it at list, you're gonna lose money because they're gonna trend back to discount. Do you understand how that works? So the watch that's 40 grand, right? Really, it should be like 30 grand, 32 grand maximum, right? And that is exactly where it's going to go. That's exactly where it's going to go. So if you, my friends, if you do not do the smart thing and listen to this channel, the incredible information you get from this channel, you most likely you're gonna end up with dog, the dog shit type watches that lose money and all that stuff. But no, this is the channel. This is the number one get rich quick watch collector channel. That's right. So okay, so we covered the Day-Dates. Now, the one watch which I do like in the Day-Date 40 range is that meteorite dial. But again, that watch also will be very shortly selling at a discount. That's right, you heard it here first, at a discount. Now, I told you guys this months ago. Now, what about the other watches? Look, everything Rolex. Okay, let me let me repeat myself several times. So everything Rolex is, yeah. Wow, this is what a setup over there. Unbelievable, but true. Now, look, everything Rolex is compressing. Okay, the values are going back to retail, maybe a little below this. But here's the thing. Here is the thing I got to bring up, right? You know, a lot of you tomato cans, you've been complaining for the last 5 years. Oh, I can't get Rolex at retail. Oh, I can't. My AD never calling. AD never calling. These losers. These losers that always complain about. All they do is they do videos about ADs. This and like this is a new topic. The dealer. I mean, like a guy who's this poor bastard. With a brick and mortar store. That's the topic of these videos. And again, but here's the thing: these guys, they're not real buyers. You got to understand something. These guys, like this guy who calls himself AD Never Calling, these guys who talk about ADs. They laughed at me. They wouldn't even whatever. All those people, they're not real buyers. You see, that's the thing. And by the way, the retailer, the dealer, they know that you're not a real buyer. Okay, they know. Okay, if you're an experienced salesperson, you know who's not the real buyer. Okay, and guys on the Archie Luxury channel who complain, and the JJ, that tomato can with a baseball cap, this middle-aged man wearing a baseball cap indoors. I mean, it's unbelievable, but true, right? Then you got the Puerto Rican hubcap thief, with the fake posters from the 80s that he's got hanging in his house. What does he call himself? Juan or Joaquin, whatever he calls himself. I mean, this guy stole those posters from an old lady in Boca. He's got those Erte and Botero 1980s posters and those frames, those cheap frames you get from one of those frame shops. Anyhow, these guys that all complain, they're not real buyers, all right? So don't listen to these people. And by the way, you know what's crazy? Now that they can actually get the watches, you know what they're doing? They're not buying the watches. That's right. So all you whiners, all you whiny little bitches who've been complaining about, the AD never calling you and all that and whatever, and all your nonsense. Your little bitchy problems. Now that they are calling you, you don't want the watches, right? Because you were never a real buyer in the first place. Okay, you guys are fake buyers. That's what you are. You're a bunch of fake buyers. You're a bunch of deadbeats and losers. Basically, what else? Was I too subtle? Yeah. So basically, you're all scum. That's what you really are. You fake collectors, and all you guys all you do is buy new Rolex. You're not a real watch collector. You're just the guy who buys, fucking garbage consumer bullshit. Okay, that's what you really are. You're scum, and your family is scum. Did I make myself clear, or am I being too subtle? I don't know. Anyway. So let's get back to what's happening with Audemars Piguet. Also, those guys, I think, in certain markets that, they're going to give you a little bullshit story, whatever. But those watches are becoming more and more available. But here's the thing: as they become more available, people don't want them because there's a lot of fake buyers. Okay. And that's what most of you guys are. You're fake buyers. You're only interested in things you can't have, right? You're like the cat chasing, a string or something, right? You want something you can't have, and as soon as it's available, you're not interested anymore, right? The cat's only chasing the thing that it can't get. As soon as it gets it, it's no longer interested. And when you know that these watches are available, all of a sudden you're actually scared to buy, because a lot of you guys are brokesters. You're fake buyers, right? That's what you are. You're fake buyers. You're not willing to write a check for 30 grand, okay? You only want to write a check for 30 grand if in a hot market, if the resale value is 40 or 50, right? Because then you can brag to your idiot friends, your scum friends and your scum family, your bastard children and your bastard parents and all that. You got a deal. You got a great deal. Now you're an investor. You're a watch dealer. This or that. No, you're a tomato can. You always were a tomato can. You always will be a tomato can. Okay, that's the reality, my friends. And nothing is going to change that. Tomato cans don't change their stripes. So the real collectors, they're buying now. That's right. The real buyers are buying. The real buyers are buying. And you know what? Here's what else is happening. By the way, the Patek Philippe market. I gotta tell you something, my friends. The Patek Philippe is, I think the Patek Philippe is actually, of all the brands, I think they're the most dangerous. That's right, Patek Philippe. You heard it here first. Patek Philippe, modern Patek is in danger because they're, those new modern watch sizes, those dress watches that they have, they're all going to be selling at deep discounts, deep discounts, because people, especially, look, the Patek really got the big lift. I think the reason Patek is in most danger because they, that was always a brand that, generally you could, sold at a discount. That's right, their watches always sold at discounts. It wasn't that easy to move Patek back in the day, right? And it only got a lift in the last couple of years because of the all those the fake buyers, the flippers, and all these people go on wait list. The guys who are not real collectors, right? These guys who, these whiners and complainers that you see, and those are the guys who also started buying the Aquanauts and the Nautilus and all that, right? Now, which, by the way, those were never considered real Patek, right? Aquanaut and Nautilus was always kind of like thought of as a, compromise watch, right? It was always sort of like, hey, this is what you get if you can't buy a real Patek, right? But now those are becoming more available also. By the way, that's one of their biggest production things, right? The Aquanaut. I heard it from Thierry Stern himself that the Aquanaut is their biggest volume thing. And all this scarcity stuff, it's the greatest marketing gimmick they ever had. These guys are by the way, the production numbers at Patek are actually off the charts. These guys are cranking out watches like you would not believe. They got those 4-year-old Chinese kids, working in the sweatshops. They're cranking out those Aquanauts and they're cranking out the Aquanauts and the what do you call it, the Nautilus, like you wouldn't believe, right? And so those prices are definitely heading down. Those watches are the ones that are in the greatest danger. That's right, in the greatest danger of losing value. Actually, I think pretty much any modern Patek is actually in great danger of losing value. So don't be a tomato can. Don't be a tomato can. Don't be a tomato can and start buying the Patek. Like that window licker from the Archie Luxury channel that he bought this fake what do you call it, this perpetual calendar. With the goofy retro, the goofy retro looking watch that's too big to be a dress watch, and it's got the dumb lugs on it. With the stupid hands on the watch, the syringe hands, like a needle, like a drug addict, heroin addict syringe hands. Yeah, listen, those watches are going to be dropping so fast. They're going to be dropping like Bill Clinton's pants in the Arkansas farmhouse. And by the way, that line was stolen by the Puerto Rican hubcap thief Juan and his cousin Kino. Actually, Kino was actually my fourth cousin. Somehow we're related with this guy Juan. It's a real family embarrassment. I'm really sorry about it, but yeah, it's unbelievable but true. It's a kind of a distant family connection. It's really the shame of the family. This guy Juan. Anyway, back to the what's happening. Okay, so Audemars Piguet is, I think, the one that's actually kind of safest in terms of they're going to be selling at about list. Maybe it'll be tough to get, whatever. You may have to pay a little over. But listen, guys, don't be suckers. Do not buy the Coda 1159 at any cost. Okay, the Coda 1159, I don't care which watch it is, they're all garbage. Okay, all of them are garbage. Repeat after me. It is pure garbage. It is à la poubelle, à la poubelle. Okay, that is that is code 1159. I don't care if it's a Star Wheel Perpetual. It is all trash, pure trash. Now, the Royal Oaks. I love the Royal Oak. I actually really do love the Royal Oak. I do have my issues with AP as the company, a couple of other things like that. All these companies, they're all very greedy, these Swiss bastards. With the service, all this nonsense, all this. But let me tell you something. Do not pay even. I wouldn't even pay a small premium for a Royal Oak at this point, because they are the demand, again, the demand, there was a lot of fake demand. That's right. You have to realize a lot of that fake demand from fake buyers has gone away, right? So these people who claim to be on the wait list, blah blah, they were never real buyers in the first. Right now, when they do get the call, they're scared. They're scared to pick up the phone because they don't want to write a check for $30,000. These guys are brokesters, right? And even if they had the money, they're not real watch collectors. They were just chasing hype. They wanted things that they couldn't get, so they're clout chasers, as the kids say, right? They just want things that they can brag to their fuckhead friends and say, hey, look what I got, right? That's who it is, right? It's like the watch colony. The watch colony, those that grooming channel, which is a bunch of guys get on this channel. Essentially, it's like a circle jerk club. It's a bunch of guys getting together on a live stream to jerk each other off, which is kind of cringy and creepy. But look, all you got to do is see the people involved in that group, and you can see it's very, very creepy and weird. And but those guys are not real collectors, actually. Okay, the watch colony people are the epitome of what's wrong with this. Let's call it. I don't want to use the word hobby. It just sounds so corny. But these people are not real collectors. They're just clout chasers. They basically just want stuff that they could show off to other people, and sort of get what do you call it? Is a status thing. They're not real collectors, right? They're just status chasers. They're just low life degenerates, scum of the earth. And when they get the call, they're not really. I mean, they might buy the watch only if it has a bit of a aftermarket premium. But I'll give you an example. You get one of these morons in that group. He bought the Patek annual calendar, rose gold white dial. That's the 5396, right? Yours truly had the one with the blue dial, baguette markers, rose gold. And of course I had to trade it in because it's garbage. But this tomato can got that watch in the wrong combination. Rose gold white dial, which is a no-no. But it had the Tiffany stamp. That's right, it was a Tiffany. It was a Tiffany. I don't know how he got it at Tiffany. Why would they sell this guy a watch? Because technically that watch does have a bit of a premium, right? And he's not a real buyer, right? This guy's a brokester. I mean, relatively speaking, for that type of watch, right? But anyway, they sold him this watch, and it does have a small premium, even though it's the most undesirable of the Patek range with that spec, the rose gold white dial. But the Tiffany stamp, because there's a lot of tomato cans who they love that Tiffany stamp because they don't know any better. They don't know that Goobelin is the real second signature that you want. Tiffany's like a third-rate retailer. They're sort of like Brooks Brothers. That's what they really are. They're like the Brooks Brothers of jewelry. Does anybody even know what happened to Brooks Brothers? The Brooks Brothers clothing company. They used to be kind of like I think at one point they were considered somewhat of I don't know if the word would be prestigious, but I don't know. But it was always very kind of, and then they went downhill. If anybody knows about Brooks Brothers, you understand what I'm saying. But that's what Tiffany is. They're kind of like a third-rate They're basically a third-rate jewelry company. If you're like a real baller and you want to buy diamonds, right, for your wife, your girlfriend, you don't go to Tiffany, right? That's where the pikers go. You go to Harry Winston. You go to Graf. Graf is really where you go, right? Not Tiffany. Or what's the other one? Forgot the guy's name. Anyway, so Tiffany's really kind of like a mass market. They're just a mass market. They're like a McDonald's. They're like the McDonald's of diamonds, basically. They just had some good marketing. They got some name recognition because the Americans are stupid. They're like really the dumbest consumers out there, and that's what happened. But anyway, so the Tiffany thing. By the way, the Tiffany Premium, I believe, is gonna massively disappear. The Tiffany Premium is gonna like evaporate. So like right now, there's some watches that get like a double or even a triple premium. That's right, 200 to 200% premium because of that stupid Tiffany stamp. And it's the same watch, right? But that premium is going to disappear. See, that is the ultimate hype. That is coming out of the watch market very, very. It's going to come out very, very fast. Like you wouldn't believe it how fast that premium is going to evaporate. That is extremely, extremely dangerous. Anyway, so Patek has some serious problems. Too much production. The new modern dress watches they just don't work on any level. Okay, a lot of them are quite ugly. They have a few decent watches, but listen, they're running on fumes. Patek Philippe is running on, they're running on their past reputation. It's kind of like Tiffany. Like Tiffany's running on. I'll be honest. I think what happened with Tiffany was that they got what's that? The movie Breakfast at Tiffany's or something. I think that movie kind of really put them on the map in a way, in terms of in the mass consciousness, in the mass consumer consciousness. Before that, they were just Louis Comfort Tiffany was who was actually a great designer at the the turn of the century, in the 1900 or so. He made the Tiffany lamps, a lot of that stuff. That guy was he was a creative genius. But Tiffany by itself has not done anything creative in the last 100 years. So they really they're not deserving. Tiffany's not deserving of any premium reputation because, again, they have not done anything innovative, creative in the last 100 years since Louis Comfort Tiffany himself died, right? Unlike these other companies like Graf, like Harry Winston, we can go down the list. Okay, those guys do innovative stuff. Not Tiffany. So again, the Tiffany thing is 100% hype, and you're gonna get hurt if you're paying a premium for those watches. Now, let's talk about vintage watches. We're talking about stuff the 90s, I guess the kids call it neo vintage, neo vintage, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, that stuff. Again, we can go through different levels, but I actually, there is still money to be made there. So yes, you can find watches in the vintage space because these things are always very low production. People don't realize those things were actually low production from Patek, from AP, where they only may have made, they may have only made 20 examples. You think the watch was, sort of in the catalog produced, but really they only made, they may have only made sometimes 5 or whatever. And I think we're going to see a lot of value, a lot of upside potential in those 1960s. I think the sweet spot for watches is late 50s into late 60s. AP Patek Vacheron, okay? AP Patek Vacheron, late 50s to 1960s, into the 70s is where you're going to see a lot of upside potential because those watches are actually quite cool, and they're actually quite rare, and we're actually starting to see prices increase already. So anyway, Let me know what you tomato cans think. Leave your nasty and vicious comments below. Leave your nasty comments below. Make sure you subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. And okay, so let's wrap up. Which watches are increasing in value? I think 1970s vintage Patek, 1960s vintage Patek, Audemars Piguet, Vacheron. Those are increasing in value. All right. Wow, look at this hole. It's like a crater. Look at this. Look at the value that you get with this channel. This is the #1 YouTube channel for incredible information. There you go. People have fallen to their deaths. People have fallen to their deaths from this point. So it's called Dead Man's Point. See, what other YouTube channel takes you to on location live coverage of all sorts of dangerous locales? I mean, unbelievable but true. All right, leave your nasty comments below. See you in the next one.